finish chapter number 2. So I forgot to read this one, the last one in the chapter number 2. So this is a commentary by the Tibetan master. So last chapter, this chapter number 2. This is just brief words to summarize the chapter. So it is chapter number 2. This concludes the second chapter of the Guide of the Bodhisattva Way of Life, entitled, the title of the chapter name is Purifying Oneself of Negative Deeds. Here lastly we cover the name of the chapter, then this then is the explanation of the second chapter, the chapter on purifying oneself of the negative deeds, from the entry point for the son and daughters of the victorious Buddhist commentary on the Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life. Here is the second major section, which is actually acquiring the wish for enlightenment. Once you have already assembled the conducive condition for it is developing, rejoicing in good deeds, which is chapter number 3, and so on. This section has chapter number 3 is called full acceptance of the awakening mind. So the section has number 1 is 2 parts, which are the explanation of the text of the chapter, and then a note the name of the chapter, and the explanation of the text of the chapter. There are 3 steps. The first of these 2 parts are what to do for the preliminary practice for me, and then for the main stage, and then for the conclusion of this chapter number 3. Now let us discuss about the preliminary. What are the preliminary practice? The preliminary are the 5: rejoicing in good deeds, arguing teacher to turn the wheel of the Dharma, requesting holy beings not to pass into nirvana, dedicating good deeds, and this is 5. As step toward the practice of the perfection of wisdom, cultivating the state of mind in which we give up our bodies, our possessions, and the power of all good deeds we have done. And the preliminary are 5. Number 1 is rejoicing in good deeds. So this come here in the come to the root text. Number 1 is, gladly I do rejoice in the virtue that relieve the misery of all those in unfortunate states, and that gives happiness to the suffering. I rejoice in the gathering of the virtue that is the cause for the arhat awakening. I rejoice in the definite freedom of the embodied creatures from the misery of the cycle of existence. I rejoice in the awakening of the Buddha and also the spiritual level of their children. And with gladness, I rejoice in the ocean of virtue for developing and awakening mind that wish all beings to be happy, as well as in the deeds that bring them benefit. So that is rejoicing. So that is the good text. Now let's go. Are you guys bored? Make sure. Now let's go back to the commentary. Here is the first of the 3. Okay, rejoicing. So rejoicing. We will cover the 3 steps. The rejoicing. rejoicing in those good deeds which acts as the cause for birth in the higher realms, and in the result they caused the rejoicing good deed which act cause for freedom alone, and in the result they cause, and the number 3 is rejoicing in good deeds which acts as a cause of unsurpassed enlightenment, and the result which they cause. Three categories. Number 1 is rejoicing in the good deeds. Number 1 is rejoicing in good deeds which acts as the cause for birth in higher realm. Here is the first of the 3. I rejoice in the good deeds which act as the cause to help relieve the torment of the lower realm for every being in the cycle of suffering. And I rejoice as well in those which acts as a cause for all of them to achieve very special form of birth in the higher realms. I also rejoice in the result which this cause bring about. I rejoice in the fact that this suffering could ever come to life in the happiness of the higher realms. How do I rejoice? I think to myself with thought of joy about what a wonderful it is that these good deeds exist in the world. This is the number 1. Number 2 is, here is the second one. I also rejoice in the fact that beings have collected together good deeds such as those which are consistent with reaching freedoms, those deeds which act as a cause for enlightenment of the listener, the hearer, and the self-made Buddha and the solitary realizer. I rejoice as well in the result which these good deeds bring about. The certain freedom from the suffering of cycle life which living creature can attain through these deeds. That is, I rejoice in the fact that they will achieve nirvana. Number 3 is, so too I rejoice in the total enlightenment which has been reached by those who protect all other living beings, and in the 10 levels with the different sons and daughters of the victorious Buddha have attained. I rejoice as well as in the cause for all these states in the veritable ocean of goodness of the wish for enlightenment, the thought to attain highest enlightenment in order to bring every living being to happiness. Beyond this, I rejoice in the actual deeds of being with this wish, in the activities they undertake to help all living kind. I rejoice with the gladness, and I dwell in the faith of admiration which is mixed in my mind with a feeling of great happiness. So it means rejoicing, in fact means rejoicing is very simple and also collect huge amount of merit, So it means Shamida was recommending first we need to rejoice Buddha's qualities, and then second we will rejoice the Bodhisattva's activities and virtues, and third we will rejoice the like solitary realizers activities, and then we will rejoice the hearer, and then we will rejoice the ordinary people's good merit, and then you will rejoice your own virtue. The king in India, invite Buddha and all his disciples in the palace and make lots of offering to the Buddha and all his disciples, and offering, lots of beautiful offering to the Buddha and all his disciples. And evening, it is tradition. Buddha have to dedicate the name of mention the name of the sponsor. So like King, King Baba, King's daughter, have to mentioning all the name of the families. So Buddha will dedicate Buddha and all the Buddha's disciple will dedicate so dedicate the name of the king. So when they mention the name of the king, king feel very proud, I'm doing a wonderful job, something like that. And a couple of times when the Buddha is mentioning during the dedication period, he mentioning the name of the king because he's doing a wonderful job and offering to the Buddha and the disciples. And then a couple of days, among the audience, there's one woman came to the audience, and the woman is very poor woman, very poor woman. And she was in the audience, and she feel light of the king's offering, how wonderful this king offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I don't have anything offered to the Buddha, and she felt regret because in my past life maybe I'm very stingy and I'm very not making offering, and I have nothing to offer to the Buddha, but she can see the light of the king offering, wonderful offering to the Buddha and disciples. And so she was nothing to offer to the Buddha, very poor, and then she fully rejoiced. Kings, king's good quality, wonderful king, he's doing wonderful job. To totally rejoice king's, merit. And then, later, when Buddha dedicating, so Buddha mentioning the name of the old woman, not the king, this old woman name, that annoyed the king, because he is the sponsor. But Buddha didn't mention the name of the king. But tomorrow he mentioned the name of this old woman, and that annoyed the king. What's going on? I'm the sponsor, I'm doing good job. And then, so all these minister said, we need to do something, we need to make this old woman angry, make angry. Then she will. So he said, we buy shopping tomorrow, beautiful, all the fruits and lots of things, bring, and we will, everyone bring the fruits and offering. When you all arrive in front of the temple, please, fold down all the fruits and everything, then I will bring the stick and hit the, all the women come, sticks. So this is his plan, So tomorrow they are bringing all the fruits, and so in front of the temple, they fold all these fruits, and all the beggars are coming, pick up the fruits in India, all hungry, so the minister is especially penetrating to this old woman, hit a couple of sticks, then she get angry, and then after, evening, when dedicating Buddha, mentioning the name of the king or not, not this old woman. And then this is the one quality of the rejoicing. So when we rejoice good qualities, we will get married. So when we rejoice negative, then we will create negative things like that. So it means that rejoicing is kind of like very good for collecting merit. So if we can do, you can sit on the chair, you can rejoice, or some people do a wonderful job, others will just fully rejoice. So that's the quality of the the quality of the rejoice. So that's the second is, I think all the Buddhas in every corner of the universe who have only recently achieved the Buddha and who have yet to teach the Dharma. Physically, I join my palm at breath and with great respect make supplication to them. What is the goal of my supplication? I request them to light the lamp of the Dharma, of the bowl of Dharma in the minds of people, in the Dharma in the forms of the world, in order to illuminate the path which free every living being from the wandering, confused, and suffering and darkness of the ignorance. So that is the beseeching. With folded hand, I beseech the Buddhas of the four directions to shine the lamp of Dharma, to be for all bewildered in miseries of the grooms. So this is the so this is asking about asking holy beings to teach the Dharma. So here, remember, to teach the Dharma means to understand about the understanding about the nature of the mind. So when we talk about understanding of the nature of mind, it is very important. First, we have to recognize different types of phenomena. What mind and phenomena. So generally speaking, from Buddhist perspective, understanding nature of the mind, first very important that we need to distinguish existing phenomena and non-existing, existing phenomena and non-existing. So existing phenomena means, from Buddhist perspective, all the Indian master, according to Nalanda Indian master, is saying something which is perceived by the valid mind do exist. Something which does not perceive by the valid mind is non-existence. So that is the difference between existence and non-existence. So something which is perceived by a valid mind do exist. Something which does not perceived by the valid mind does not exist. So when you realize something which is perceived by the valid mind do exist, means phenomena. Then we will make phenomena into two categories: temporary phenomena and permanent phenomena. Temporary phenomena. So the temporary phenomena means phenomena which depend on causes and conditions are temporary, sometimes there, sometimes absent. Permanent phenomena means which is always there. So when we distinguish between temporary phenomena and the permanent phenomena, now when we talk about the temporary phenomena, then we have three categories, right? Which is form, consciousness, and abstract things or phenomena. Neither form, no consciousness. So the form phenomena, this is very important, all related to the mind. Form phenomena are when the phenomena form with some phenomena do have shape, color, form, then sensory consciousness perceive those phenomena. And then abstract things, which is neither form nor mind. Sensory object, right? Sensory object. So therefore, we have temporary phenomena, we have form, we have consciousness, and we have abstract things. So abstract things. And so therefore, all these different objects of the phenomena make different types of mind. So we have make mind into two categories. It is called primary consciousness and mental factor. Primary consciousness and mental factor. So the primary consciousness means primary consciousness or the primary mind is primary consciousness. In order to function, what you need, right? You need object. You need object, right? You need subject, your mind, object, subject, and you also need immediate condition, previous instant of mind, So generally speaking, primary consciousness always depend on the sense faculty. Now when we talk about sense faculty, it's very complicated, right? For example, like different schools in India, right? So one school, Vipassika say, sense organ perceive the object, not sensory mind itself. That's the only Vipassika school in India, which is like Vipassika school is like what Theravada, there's a Vipassika school. So that school believe that sense faculty or sense organ perceive the object, not sensory consciousness itself. And then all other schools, for example, like Mandoli school, middle level school, Madhyamika school, and Satantika school region, that not sense faculty perceive the object, but sensory consciousness perceive the object. Because the sense faculty is the dominant condition. So dominant condition. It means, for example, like eye sense faculty, potential to see, not to hear, not to smell, not to taste. Smell, sensory faculty does have potential to smell, not taste, not touch. So that's dominant, one eye sensory consciousness, eye faculty, dominant eye consciousness, because only perceive form, of course this shape, color, not smell, taste. then question arises. What about, you see the blind people in India, like this, they touch the, touch the things and tell you the blue color, yellow color. They have no sense faculty. They were blind, right? But when they touch, they can perceive color, distinguish the color. This is blue, this is yellow. If that's the case, then this is not dominant condition. Dominant. Dominant means, one. What dominant means? Eye sense faculty, dominant, only shape, color, not potential to see, the potential to smell and taste. That's the dominant. So anyway, so that means, so we will distinguish consciousness, primary consciousness, which is very much different from sense faculties, and the mental factor, which does not depend on the sense faculties, but always accompany with the sensory consciousness. You know why? This is very good example, like when we, monkey, see, when we study about the 12 links of interdependent origination, you see 5 windows, 1 monkey. Monkeys symbolizing mental consciousness. 5 windows symbolizing five sensory consciousness. So that means when I sensory consciousness perceive the object, mental consciousness accompanying. Like monkey jumping one window to another window. Only one monkey, but five windows. So that means the sense faculty, the mental factor, mental factor, feeling, recognition, these are mental factors always accompany with the mental consciousness. So therefore, so we understand that we distinguish between primary mind and sense faculty, mental factor. So when we talk about the primary mind, we are talking about non-conceptual mind. I, ear, nose, tongue, non-conceptual, direct seeing the object. So when we talk about mental consciousness, then two categories, right? Conceptual mental consciousness and the non-conceptual mental consciousness. Conceptual mental consciousness means direct perceiving object of the emptiness, object of whatever, direct perceiving. Right? And so therefore, so that means in order to function the mental consciousness, brain is very important. If brain is not functioning, mental consciousness cannot function, cannot manifest. Brain is very important. Brain, mental consciousness. And when brain alone is not enough to mental consciousness to function, So what we need is there are another this Indian master saying we need another condition, that is immediate condition. Immediate condition means previous instant of mind. So because mind is momentarily changing, it's moving all the time, never stop. It's just momentarily changing. There's the momentarily moving and changing. So the previous instant of mind is previous instant of mind, which also needs support to mental consciousness to function. So therefore, so when we distinguish non-conceptual mind and conceptual mind. So when we distinguish between conceptual mind and non-conceptual mind, we will be able to distinguish between valid mind and invalid mind. You know what I mean? So when we distinguish valid mind can be two, right? Direct perceiving valid mind and inferential valid mind. Mistaken mind, 5 different categories: doubt, and doubt, and then there are different mistaken doubt, and what else? There is one mistaken mind. They like this. Remember, when we go to supermarket, right? This is a very good example. We go to supermarket. You may have a shopping list, right? But you're not buying everything, right? You have a shopping list. But you see all these objects appear to your mind. But you not register all the objects, right? So all these objects are not registering because you're mistaken, like you're not paying attention because you have a shopping list to do this. So therefore, when we distinguish between valid mind, invalid mind, when we practice, we studying, first we all make mistakes. That's very, everyone make mistake. So when we make mistake, you ask questions. When you ask questions, then you may turn into the doubt, more doubt. More doubt, you ask more question. That's just like Buddhist. This is the Buddhist way, the training, understanding the mind. So more you doubt, more you ask the question. More you ask. Remember, we have different school, for example, like some school said, when the mind-only school are saying nature of the mind is mind itself, not emptiness of the mind. Some school is saying nature of the mind is emptiness of the mind. Therefore, it is permanent. Emptiness is permanent phenomena, right? Remember, we make two categories of phenomena, right? First, temporary phenomena and permanent phenomena, right? So, one is school saying nature of the mind is mind itself. That means Buddha potential, seed of the Buddha. Everyone has Buddha potential. Everyone will become Buddha because they are seed of Buddha potential. So nature of the mind is mind itself. So nature of the mind is mind itself, therefore it will momentarily change, right? If the nature of mind is mind itself, then nature of changing, right? The quality of the mind is. If the nature of mind is emptiness, that means never ever change. It is empty, right? So therefore, so when we study, this is where Indian master, like Dharmakirti and Digna and all these are saying this. Understanding nature of the mind, we have to understand the phenomena. We have to understand phenomena, right? Temporary phenomena and permanent phenomena. And then we know what mind, sensory consciousness belongs to, and mental consciousness. Then we distinguish conceptual and non-conceptual mind. And then valid mind, invalid mind, and then turning negative phenomena, then turn into the emptiness of the mind, isn't it? So this is the one way understanding nature of the mind. If we understand different categories of the phenomena, different types of the mind, and how sensory mind function, how mental consciousness function, what's the difference between conceptual mind and non. It is very important also when we talk about the conceptual and non-conceptual mind, it is not necessarily valid, right? Non-conceptual mind, there are many invalid non-conceptual mind. I will give you an example. If I wear the yellow sunglass, I can see all this yellow. This is my book yellow. It's mistaken. If I wear the sunglass, yellow sunglass, look on the snow mountain, I can see this yellow snow. This is mistaken non-conceptual mind. Right? When we are driving, we see the trees are moving. When we are driving, and we see the trees are moving, but it's mistaken. So these are non-conceptual mind. So it's conceptual mind, non-conceptual mind, both valid and invalid. Okay, doesn't matter. Valid mind, invalid mind. So, but the process is very important. Go doubt, then mistaken turn to doubt, then turn to mistaken, then valid. Just like don't time, there's a coil road and not very clear. You may be mistaken for the snakes. We feel this don't time, not very clear. And first, when you see, you feel the snake there, it's mistaken. And then you slowly you use, snakes, it's not moving, should move something. Remain there same. Then turn into the doubt, And then eventually you bring the torch, right? Light the torch and you see, it's not snake, it's called rope, See, like that process is all when we do practices like that, isn't it? So like first mistake, we make mistake, then ask the questions and turn to doubt, and then we use lots of infrastructure, valid mind, and then we use see the object directly, isn't it? So that's the point. Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions? You understand what I'm saying?